Good evening, everyone. Gary, you was first on tonight, followed by Bill. Good to see you there. Friday finale. Let's see what we can come up with tonight, guys. But we're going to get this show started with the pledge and the music, and then we'll come back and we're going to do the show. And I'll be right back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So it's not my post office. Yeah, because they're
If tomorrow all the things were gone that worked for all my life, and I had to start again, just like you and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American. I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I still stand. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
I'm calling them radio.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of
For 2 months,
Tennessee,
she charged me what she charged.
across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say,
I'm like the kid in the
oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this
say yes. God bless the USA, my favorite song. So how is everyone doing tonight? Boy, there's a lot more on. Linda's on. Got your message, Linda. Thank you. Jeffrey and Annie. Just in case none of you bizwax come on, I wanna let know, or when she comes on, guys, if I don't mention her, make sure that you let me know she's on, because I want to thank her for sending me a message the other day. Janet's here. Cindy's here. Cindy, how are you doing? Tony's here. Yeah, we got John here. Several wrenches in here. Hey, none of you bizwax. Thank you for the email the other day, sweetie. Thank you for the email. Ann's here. Oh, Ann's saying hello to everybody. Well, you know what? I'm just going to let Ann take care of saying hello to everyone. She's doing a great job. Guys, where are we at? How are you feeling? What do you think is going to happen? I don't know. But this morning, you guys know I love music. When I write Julia, I put so many music songs, phrases from songs in there. She's getting to where she knows the songs better than I do. But one song that come to my head this morning when I woke up this morning feeling fine. There was something special on my mind. And then I turned on my phone and I looked at it, and I had messages from a lot of you guys. Linda didn't send me a message this morning, or she might have. I might have missed it. Reminded me to take my medicine, but I was a good boy, and I did. But we've talked since then. Guys, my whole attitude has changed since the other night. The other night when I played that video, that audio of the hat talking about Jesus coming to visit him. Because even though Jesus didn't talk to me, I felt he come and visited me around, because I said, I got to have a sign. I was down and out Wednesday. And you've seen how chirper I was when I did the show. Less than an hour before that, I was ready to cancel the show. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to disappoint you guys. I just didn't want to. And with that being said, I asked for help. My sign came from Mike Davis. And I read what he said, and I put a prayer together. And I've had about 10 people asking me, where did that prayer come from? And I said, right here in the heart. I can't even tell you what I said. I don't remember. I'm going to go back and watch that video and watch the prayer. But they said it was the nicest prayer they've ever heard. And I didn't rehearse it. Nothing. It just, as I started to say the prayer, that's what come out. Was it me talking? I don't know. And I'm not going to say I'm one of these prophets or one of these people that talk to God and Jesus. I talk to them, but they've never really answered. Now they have given me signs. But it is what it is. Yeah. And then when I get done reading what Mike Davis sends me the other day, and then I get to see this audio with a hat speaking the way he did. And I ask everybody, make it go viral. Send it out to anybody. Did anybody send it out? Hi, Betty. So what do you have to do? The dishes before you come on? Betty, Bill jumps on first. And then you're doing the dishes, and then make him do the dishes next time. As Bill's saying, Ralph, you just be quiet. We got a good thing going here. But no, I mean, it's, hi, Sir Tony. Sarita's here. Lots of people. But anyway, I'm a firm believer if I ask someone to do something. If I ask you to send this out to family, friends, you know what? I sent it out to people that I know don't believe. It's up to them if they watch it. It's up to them if they listen to it. Now, I sent it out to one person who kind of believes. And when I seen her, I said, did you watch it? Did you listen to it? And he go, the title is, he talks to Jesus comes and visits. Is he going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? And I said, no, watch it. Listen to it. It's great. And they said, oh, I thought she was just playing a joke. No, I said, go and watch it. And that person did. And they got back to me and said, thank you. Hi, Vicky. But anyway, they thanked me because they see that there's someone that does care, but more so than that person caring, the Almighty care. And that touched me. But I wasn't done. I couldn't just send it out to a few in my list. I put it on Facebook. I put it on other formats. And I don't have large followings on any formats. But on Telegram, I have a short file. I put it there. I put it on Telegram, but then there's this site, Wolverine's Den or something like that. but they won't let you post. And I go, man, that's 36,000 people. They need to see this. They need to hear this. And I thought, I got to get it to them. And as I'm scrolling down on the side, I see this picture. And one thing I've learned about Telegram, if there's a picture on the side, you can click on that and it will take you usually to that person's own personal message on Telegram, where you can Telegram that person or send messages to that person. So I did. Come to find out, that person is the moderator on the site. I sent this person that video, that link. She watched it. She got back to me 10 minutes later and said, thank you. She went and put it on Wolvie's site and 2 other sites that together was almost 100,000 people. Now, a lot of them might be the same ones, but it's still the fact. If you keep, the more sites you see something on, the more apt you're going to go and you're going to watch something. You know, I would love for that to be maybe an opening when we go to the darkness and, you know, all we're going to have is the TVs. That would be a great opening for one of the 4-hour movies or 8-hour movies, to sit there and make them watch him talking. What a way to start it off. Since this has happened over on TikTok, I got someone to start following me. Hi, family channel. Got someone to start following me over there. It's supposed to be Elon. Come to find out, it's Elon's son. It's someone messing with me. And the guy comes on, he says, hey, how long have you been a fan of my dad? What do you think about that? Ann, Bill, Janet, Elaine? Hi, Elaine. What do you think about it? How long have you been a fan of Elon Musk? And I answered him by saying, I'm really not a fan. I said, I'm not being disrespectful here, but I said, you started following me, so I followed you back. I thought it was Elon. I didn't know it was his son. And I says to him, he says, well, tell me what you think about him. And I said, well, I think he's one of the richest men in the world. I think he could help millions and billions of people. I says, this man is a multi-billionaire. But yet there's people living on the streets. Why? Why? He could take care of everybody in the United States and not even dent what he has. So yeah, I like him. I believe he has good intentions, but I believe he has good intentions as long as there's something in it for him. And that's how you become that wealthy. I said 2 of the wealthiest men in the world, him and the Hat, get together and form Doge. And they go and get all these trillions of dollars. And they promised us all of this money, all this money, all this money. And then I'm watching a video last night, and then Super Jimmy, he puts it on Telegram today, that the Hat in this video is saying that he thinks he's going to give the people of the United States somewhere between $1,000, maybe $2,000. And that'll help him so much. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Everything we did to get this man in this position, everything we did to do all of this tariffs, all of this other, everything that's going on, all we hear is how much money we're saving, how much money we're making, what we're going to do for the people. That's all we hear. I'm telling you, I farted the other day, and I swear it was Elon and the Hat coming out, because they've blown so much smoke up our ass. They're so deep up into our rear ends that we can't get rid of them. And I'm not negative. Guys, I'm just stating facts. that we keep getting promised and promised and promised. Would you not agree, Gary? How about you, Bobo? CA? I mean, I'm not trying to get people down. I'm going to work my best to get everybody up, but we're going to get up when they do something, actually do something. And I think the time is now. But I'm not going to talk about it being now because I'm going to go talk to the kids for a while. Hi, Jimmy. How are you doing tonight? I hope you and Patriot 11 are doing great. I hope you're having a great day, along with Wyatt Earp and the Karate Kid. I hope your mommy made you a good supper tonight. Maybe dad's night was to cook, but you kids should do the dishes for them. Show them how great you are. We have any ball games this weekend? Princess, our little queen, or Hunter, what are you going? You gonna go fishing? You gonna do some things outside, or you just gonna run from all the girls that's chasing you? You know, John, don't you go getting over excited, John, because you got to worry about that oldest one. I think are Boogs, and then Boogaloo and Boogaloo and Boogie. Them 4 grandkids you got to worry about, John. And oh, they grow up so quick. They grow up so quick. You know, my daughter posted pictures the other day of Patriot Super Gymnast and Patriot 7, a little picture of Patriot Little Monkey. And this was when Little Monkey was only like 1 or 2 years old. And so naturally the other ones were younger. And she goes, where'd the time go? So I posted a picture right next to her. And I said, here. And it was a picture that I had just taken at Liam's birthday party of the 3 of them together. You know, now that they're getting older, it's harder to get all 3 of them together to pose because the little monkey always just wants her picture taken by herself. She says that, you know, why do I have to share? But she just does it jokingly. Patriot Small Hank was off school today with hand, foot, and mouth. And I walked up to him and said, you're home because of hand, foot, and mouth? And he said, yeah. And I says, well, God, that's why I stay home every day, I guess, because I got 2 hands, 2 feet, and only 1 mouth, though. But I toot out of another one. And he didn't get it at first, and then he got the joke. But you got to take care of these kids. Little Leona and little Elon. You know, Mike sent me a picture today of some gold coins and some other things. And we talked about Julia and another lady, you know, and me and him have so much in common. But maybe the most important thing we got in common is he loves a Leona and I love a Leona. But I love 2 of them. One, my mom, who's left me, and now little Leona, who will carry on her name. Little Elon, I don't get to see her or hear much from her now that Grandma's moved to Florida. But it is what it is. And kids, once again, it's the weekend. What are you going to do? It's the first weekend in October. The first one. We're in fall, but yet today was almost 85 degrees here. Beautiful day. It gets hot in the daytime and it gets cool at night. Beautiful sleeping weather. And I'm thinking to myself, I'd take this until next spring when it gets warmer. The days are longer, but it still cools off to about 70. Hey, you know, we talk so much, kids, on the show and other places, the grown-ups do, about the weather being monitored. They're controlling it, and I truthfully believe it is. You know, I truthfully believe it is. But if they come to me and they say, Patriot 5, you live in Illinois, what kind of weather you have? Well, I want snow once a year. I want it Christmas Eve, just a dusting to start with, but then as the night goes on, get about 1.5 inches, so I wake up to a white Christmas. And I want it gone by the 27th or 28th. I would like to have the weather like we're having right now. Warm days, cool nights, and we've been very fortunate with the rain. It's been raining at nighttime. That's when we sleep. And that, to me, would be a Really nice way. I wanted 365 days. I was talking to a girl today. She's from California. She's originally from a country, Malta or something like that. And she come to the United States to get her degree. She knows I'm a patriot, so she emphasized she came to the United States legally. She has her papers. She is actually a citizen. And, coming from California, she told me what's going on out there. And as much as she loves it, as much as that's where her job is, Tony and Gary, Labrador, Grandma Bo, as much as that's where her job is, she says, Ralph, I don't know how much longer I want to stay here. It's just not fun. What do you think about that, Steph Jones? You need to live where places are fun, kids, but you need to get out and have fun. Jimmy, what I'm trying to say here, get out and have fun. I was so brokenhearted the other night. I fell asleep on the sofa watching TV, actually the love seat. And I fell asleep and I woke up, and as I woke up, Dasher had gotten out of my bed and she needed to go outside, so I'm taking her out. I go back in and just getting ready to plug my phone in, charge it for the night, and go to bed. And at 3:51 in the morning, Super Jimmy is online. I'm telling you, I was brokenhearted. Not because he's online, because I'm not his dad, I'm not his family, I'm his friend. And I don't think kids need to be on the internet that much to begin with. They need to be playing. But to be on at 3:51 in the morning, then again at 5:34 in the morning, Jimmy, you need to sleep. You're a little boy. You need your sleep. Your bones get stronger the more you sleep. So please, listen to me once. You post a lot of good things, but you're 11 years old, boy. Be an 11-year-old boy. So I'm not picking on him. I'm just trying to explain to him that I babysat Addison yesterday. And when we got done eating lunch, she went to get her tablet. And I said, what are you doing? She says, I'm getting on my tablet. I said, no, you're not. She said, what do you mean I'm not? I said, not getting on your tablet right now. Why? I said, well, first of all, you've only got about 6%, so we're going to charge it. Second of all, we got to pick up the table here, do the couple dishes that we had. Third of all, we're going to go in and me and you're going to have cuddle time. And then fourth, we're going to close our eyes. We don't have to sleep. She says, Grandpa, I'm in kindergarten now. I don't have to take naps. I said, no, you're in kindergarten when you're in school. You're home not feeling well, so you're going to go take a breathing treatment, and then afterwards we're going to cuddle, watch TV for 15 minutes, and then we're going to turn TV off, and we're going to cuddle. You don't have to go to sleep. You can lay there while I take a nap, and then when we get up, we'll figure out what we're going to do. And she never complained a bit. It really surprised me. Plugged her tablet in. We did exactly what I just said. She wakes up and we're laying there and we set up, turn TV back on, watch a little cartoon, The Cat and the Mouse. We watched The Cat and the Mouse. For all of you that don't know what The Cat and the Mouse is, it's Tom and Jerry. You remember Tom and Jerry, Grandma Bo? Cindy? John, Janet, Gary? You remember The Cat and the Mouse? Anyway, we watched that for about 15 minutes, and she goes, Grandpa, I'm hungry. And I said, well, let's go get you a snack. I said, what do you want? She wanted peanut butter and pretzels to dip her pretzels in the peanut butter. So I said, okay, I got it for her. I walked over, and I was on my phone. I looked, and tablet was charged. I walked over, I handed it to her. She said, I thought you said I couldn't have it. I said, you couldn't until you did everything like you were supposed to and listen. I let her be on it for about 20 minutes before her mom got home. And when her mom got home, she looked at me and said, should I shut it off? And I said, I think it'd be a good idea. And she did. And I have no trouble with kids being monitored, being on things, but there's so many things, kids, you can do. There's so many things you can do. And I keep preaching to you to get outside and play. But that pretty much does the kids version tonight. Remember, kids, this video is not made for you. You can watch it under the discretion of your parents, legal guardians, or your grandparents. The music we played tonight is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. So that being said, if I use anything else tonight, which I don't have that I'm going to play, but if I do, I have no legal rights to that either. We just use it for information purposes. So, quick story, guys, as we get the show going, where are we at? If you remember, last week I did a show and I was talking about Vietnamese dong. And, as a guy, and you hear Vietnamese dong. And you can ask Myrna, you can ask Diane if they ever come back on the show. Myrna was on the air tonight. Diane don't come on the show anymore, and I understand why. Savior, we'll get video chatting on occasions. We used to. And I like it when we start talking about our currency, because I just like it. And I always catch Diane in this. She'll go, I got a really big amount of dong. Or I got a really big dong. As kind of a pervert, I start to laugh. And then she realizes what she said. But it's just something. But if you remember, someone posted the other day about Vietnamese dong, that they went to a bank and the bank said, if you just want to bring some in, not all of it, just some of it, just to have some money, we can give you 1-to-1. And the gentleman who said this, he made the statement. I'm pretty sure it was the older guy that's got the beard that we've been posting a lot of his stuff recently. He's really pretty good. I can't think of his name, even though I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning chatting with him last night. But anyway, he said, well, I might take $1 million or $1.5 million just to get some money in my bank. And I remember on the show that night, I was talking about that. I think I even played a small version of it. And I said, guys, hey, you might want to go out and buy 100,000, $250,000, $500,000. Just take it in. And I told you that. And once again, I'm a firm believer. Hold on a minute, guys. I got to take this call. Hello. Guess I didn't have to take it. They hung up. But anyway, I told you guys that maybe we need to try that. So I'm a firm believer. If I'm going to tell you, if I'm going to talk the talk, I got to walk the walk. And I went out and bought $500,000 more dong that night. I was going to just take them in, go to a bank, give me 1-to-1. I got $500,000 from me and Ron. But I started doing some research, and me and Ron got talking about this and said it might not be the greatest idea. So now the advice I'm going to give you tonight is go out and buy you some more. I mean, I bought $500,000 for $35. And if you want to go buy some more, and I am not a financial advisor, I'm just giving you things that I do. I'm just sharing with you. But I went out and bought it, and I don't think you're going to have time to get it at this point back to you before everything goes. I went on, I was going to take the $500,000, I was going to get some money. And then I got thinking, you know what? Let's look back. And me and Ron started looking back into old archives and remembering things that we've done. And they say there is no such thing as double dipping. Now remember, I heard this from this old man. this not old man, this older man who's out there, and we're posting a lot of his stuff now. I'm watching a lot of his videos. And he was talking in another one just last night about double dipping. And me and Ron had already figured this out, that you might not want to take a chance of taking a $500,000 dong in, because you might lose everything else, because they say they're not going to let you go and do exchanges twice. So I'm going to suggest that no one does it. But the guy on the show last night, he couldn't understand. He said they're saying something about double dipping, but I don't understand what that is. So I was in the chat room as he was talking, and I said, what double dipping is it's going and getting your money from the redemption center. After you get your money, you come back and you think you're going to get online and go buy more currency and go back. They're not going to allow that. And he was very, very thankful that I give him that information. So I wanted to cover that. I wanted to get it out of the way and just let everybody know that I know you guys got me on a pedestal and you think so much of me and that happen. I do make mistakes sometimes too, guys. I think that was the second one in the last 10 years I've made. No, just kidding. I make a lot of mistakes. I do. So last night, Bruce was on, and here's the gentleman I'm telling you about. But anyway, Bruce was on last night, and Marianne was giving me play-by-play. It was one of the better nights that me and hers had on, because we were paying more attention just to us chatting than we were what he was saying. But here is what Carpathia has to say about Bruce's call last night. Bruce, interesting big call notes, 10/2/2025. Call was to be about noon. There was a call about to be at noon today, a video call, a one-way video call. I hate this, these ads that come up. Not all could be in attendance. President of the Hat, Scott Bazient, another associate of the Treasurer, Raison Kane, general, went out to Global Military Allowance. All the generals in GMA, it started around noon to determine, now listen to this, to determine when for the notifications for the Wells Fargo emails and when we would be starting. Bruce did not get word what happened after the call or what was decided. Bruce believes when government comes back up, people will be let go of the government. Well, and I'm going to go into that one after I finish reading this. People will be let go of the government, and we will come back to restore republic, new USN currency, and time for new government to be in place. Bruce believes the transactions could take place to bring plans for the restored republic, including Big N, waiting for confirmation. Bondholders are being paid and getting emails and delivery via FedEx for paperwork that was filed, and to take back to take to the bank along with what they need. They should have access to funds. They should have access to funds in their accounts when we go in for exchanges. Bruce got word yesterday that some of the advances have gone out and went out on Monday and was the people. In a nutshell, the rest of what Bruce talked about, guys, was he's hearing from 2 or 3 sources, the same sources that all of us could hear from. I had heard from probably the same sources, that we could be getting, there was a chance, according to TNT Tony, we could be getting notifications today. If we don't get them today, he said we should get them by Sunday, where we could book appointments on Monday and be into the centers Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday. We don't, but it should not get back next week. As I'm talking to Marianne, I said, Marianne, what are you getting out of this? And she wasn't quite sure what I meant, I don't think, because she never really replied. I said, what I'm getting out of this is tonight, Bruce's last Thursday big call. There will be no more, no more Sue selling her products, because these people are relentless. There was once a time I really can honestly say I wanted to see what we were going to get, and I wanted to meet with Bruce, and I wanted to put some things together and work with him in projects because he seems so organized. But I'm a firm believer that what goes around comes around, and I've seen on a couple occasions the hat has made the statement, if you're using this format as a way to make money off of your people, you will be dealt with. Now, that's pretty much it with him. That's what he had to say. Elaine just sent me something with this older guy. I haven't had a chance to watch it, so she sent it to Patriot 5, Patriot 6 on Messenger. I'll listen to it after the show. I just got a message from Sharon Becky. Sharon sends me an emoji every day to start my day, wishing me a good day. And I try to send her one back. And I was looking for one to send just before I came on the show tonight. And I pulled up, emojis about, and just a bunch of them there. And evidently I breathed on one of them because it sent it not once but twice. And it says, how you doing, boyfriend? I was able to delete them, but, she just sent me a message saying it was okay, that she understood things happen. So, I did get, and I think everybody has, some really good news on, hi, Gordon. You're blessed. Well, Gordon, we're blessed because you're on the show tonight. Thank you for showing up. Please say hi to David and Janet and everyone here. I believe we're all blessed. I really do. I believe that's why we're here. I know we've all went up and down. I mean, sometimes don't you feel like you're in an elevator? But Janet says, God, please hear our prayers and heal the sick and our world. Amen. Amen. Good one. Oh, Elaine, you're blessed. And I know with everything we've gone, guys, I sat yesterday over at my daughter's house. And I'd like to say I had a moment of silence, but it was a lot longer than a moment. And I sat there and see, it wasn't about me. It was about us, our group, and all of the pain and agony, everything that we went through. There's probably no one on here that since you've joined either this group, the Patriot movement, or whatever, has not experienced a loss of a loved one, whether it's a loss of a loved one of a family member, an animal, because, I got a little dog right here next to me. And she's going to be 14 years old next month. I got her when she was a little bitty puppy. She had a sister whose name was Candy. This one here is Dasher. We got them in November just before Christmas, and we named them kind of Christmas. Dasher for the deer and Candy for candy cane. And until Candy passed away about 16, 17 months ago, them two little dogs had never spent 1 minute not together. And I always thought when one of them passed away, the other one would go quickly, but Dasher keeps hanging in there. And I keep praying to God every day to keep her for me so I can get her on a bed. I tell him he's got Candy. He doesn't need a Dasher, and we'll see. But we've all lost animals, family members, and the pain that we went through. And it's weird when you think of something like this. I guess it wasn't yesterday, it was a couple days ago I was thinking this. It's weird when you think something like this, how mysteriously things work, because that night, does everybody here, David, Labrador, Russ, Janet, Tony, do you guys have, Gordon, do you have things like I have where you just have to have time for yourself? Well, my time for myself is when I leave Ron's about 10 o'clock at night, and I go home, and after I go home, I turn TV on, I get my cell phone, I start looking at videos, looking at things that I can start using on shows. That's my time. That's my time. And I was in my time, and it was like, I started thinking about all of us and everything that we've lost, and it just, wow. But the point of the story was, when I start thinking about what we've all lost, there's no one on here probably. There's a young girl that used to be on here that I got her information. I send her a message every now and then, but she hasn't replied. She lost almost her whole family just in a blink of an eye. But then you have Myrna. She's lost both of her children, her husband. And if I heard right, I think she got rid of her bird. Now, Myrna's camping this weekend. But I got thinking, wow, so much of it. And I was no more thinking of Myrna. And guys, we're talking 2:15 in the morning. I stay up late. 2:15 in the morning, and I'm thinking about all the things that's going on like this. And all of a sudden, my phone goes ding, 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 ding. And I look down, and I got a video call from Myrna. I am literally sitting there thinking of her, and she sends it on the group page. But I was the only one dumb enough to be up at 2:30 in the morning. She accidentally hit it when she put her phone down. But we ended up talking for about 10 minutes. And sometimes you get things happen like that. That's like this call that I just said I had to take. It was from my insurance company for my secondary insurance for my health. And I thought, well, maybe they got some good news for me. Why else would they be calling me at 7:30, 7:40 at night? But when I answered, they hung up. So it might have been a prank call, someone.
Might have been government insurance. It was government insurance. We might have took it away for a while.
It wasn't government insurance. It was from Zing. So anyway, that's where we're at. But anyway, guys, I was watching a video the other day about the special beds. And then I even seen where CW, Charlie Ward, come out and said something about them. And me and Ron was just talking about him. We was watching a show last night, and this guy comes on. I said, Ronnie, is that Charlie Ward? And he goes, I don't think so. And It's been so long since we heard anything from him. We actually forgot who he really was. And then today, 3 videos have popped up with him. And guys, I want to warn everybody to be very careful. I don't know how many of you have IRAs. I don't know how many of you have a lot of money put up. I don't know how many of you have this and that. I don't understand this part, but I know I'm getting a lot of people coming at me telling me I need to open up this new account. I need to get my money transferred over there. Well, I had someone getting mad at me last night telling me, you need to take this and you need to open up an account there and save your money. And I said, well, first of all, the money that I got in my checking account, and I don't have a savings account. My ex-wife made sure that I didn't have a savings account. But with this being said, there's a lot of people out there trying to get your info. Don't do it. You see the videos, and they tell you when you go to the redemption center, whether you got currency or not, you're going to go to a bank or a redemption center, and you're going to get everything set up. Your quantum account is already set up. So why are they telling us to go get a quantum account set up when it's already set up? The money's already in it. You can't go in until you actually go in and talk to the right people. You can't put your new money. But all they want you to do is go out and buy crypto. That's all they want you to do. They're trying to get your information. Don't fall for the schemes, please. But they got talking about these special beds. And in talking about these special beds, there's thousands of them all over. They're already in hospitals. They're all ready to go. So as Larry the Cable Man says, if this is all true, if we have thousands of them, they're working, they're operational, they're ready to go. As Larry the Cable Guy says, let's get her done. Let's get her done, guys. Let's go out and let's do what we need to do to get things done. I believe 100% in these beds. Think of yourself, Russ and David. Think of yourself, Bobo and One Voice, Cindy, Bill Woods, Golden Arrow, Linda. How many of you are actually the exact person that you want to be? Whether you want to be a little taller, a little lighter, a little heavier, are you exactly where you want to be? With these beds, you can go in and you can say, okay, like me, I'm 5'7". I'm a little overweight, but I want to be 5'10". I want to be this. I want my teeth taken care of. I want special parts a little bigger, other parts a little smaller. And I'm not, you guys can take it naughty if you want, but I'm not telling you what parts I want bigger and what parts I want smaller. It's up to you you decide what you want to be. And you can do this. And you can do this. And these amazing things can happen. I'm about ready to see what Restored Republic had. And then I'm about ready to get out of here for the weekend. But one thing I wanted to share was, about the beds. The reason I'm so strongly believing in them is because a lady that I've known since high school, she was a couple years behind me in high school, and she became a nurse, and she's actually been trained on them. If you look up and do researches on Big N and Big G, they're going to tell you they're not real. Well, no, they're not, because all the stuff on these searches, a lot of this stuff was put up there by the cabal. We just haven't had a chance to straighten it out. But I did see with this one gentleman today watching one of his videos, he says the military has 100% control over mainstream media. And that's what really has to fall. We have so much things that could happen, so many ways they could happen. We just got to make them happen. And With that, let's see what Restored Republic has to say, and then we're going to get out of here. Restored Republic, Friday, 3rd of August, 2025, compiled by Judy Bidenkin. President, the hat did it. America is officially a sovereign nation under common law. The privately owned by deep state cabal U.S. INC has been defunded. America is no longer subjected to admiralty law with the loyalty to the UK royals. My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. And they wanted to sing the battle hymn of the Republic. Today we are transferring power from Washington, D.C. and giving it back to the people. President Donald the Hat. Judy note, I actually think it's quite funny. On Wednesday, 1 October 2025, by an overwhelming vote, the Dems defunded their privately owned U.S. INC. The people that were fighting to get this stuff done with literally went out and did it for us. And these are the people that the people with their eyes closed want running the country. Support the hat. You are urged to read and sign the hat's big, beautiful bill, H.R. 1776, the People's Remedy and Resolution Act, September 2025. As of Wednesday, 1 October 2025, the privately owned by foreign bankers U.S. INC had been defunded and thus dissolved, while the sovereign republic of the United States of America became officially under common law, no longer subjected to admiralty law with loyalty to the UK royals. Yet no one knew it. The media, now controlled by the military, was being held silent on purpose. They were feeding the general public a narrative that the U.S. government shutdown at midnight Tuesday, 30 September 2025 was a result of Congress not passing a government funding bill for the U.S. fiscal year to begin Wednesday, October 1st, all of which was actually a smokescreen for a silent purge of deep state cabal and beginning to end the grip for the power of the taxpayers' money they had held since. Before I go any further with Judy, there was one thing it's been on my mind all night that I wanted to talk about. Grandma Bo, Janet, did any of you listen to any news today? Because I'm telling you, when I was on TikTok and I seen some news on there, it made me sick. It made me absolutely sick to my stomach. You know, there's a guy out there. He's a professional basketball player named LeBron James. And LeBron James has this saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party. This man got off on everything he did, if I heard right, 4 years and 2 months in prison. What a disgrace to the United States of America. I was watching a video, and one of the ladies that was reporting on it, she was being interviewed. And as she's being interviewed, they're asking her what she thought. And she said it was the best we could get. It wasn't the 17 years that the prosecutor wanted, but it wasn't the 14 months that the defense wanted. And they're talking about this. And they said, well, why do you think he was able to get away? And they said, because they wanted a speedy trial. Money talks. Guys, money talks, and this man has a whole lot of it. He just bought himself 4 years and 2 months where he should have got 17 years. But he bought himself that because he has the money to do it. That being said, they said, well, why do you feel that way? And she says, there was hundreds hundreds of people that wanted to come in and testify about him on other counts, on other things, on everything that he had did, of what him, his people, and these people did to these other people, these victims. And they wouldn't allow it because they said it would take too long. Wow, it must be nice to live in a world where you can do whatever you want. And the judges got enough between his legs to listen. I don't care if that trial would have took a year, 2 years, 5 years. That man deserves to spend the rest of his life in prison. What he done to these kids, what he did to women, what he did to men, he had no preferences. He is a total, I can't say what I want to say because it would definitely get me in trouble. But I am very strong about this. Guys, I thought our shows this week was very good. The attendance was very good, and I thank each and every one of you. I've already told you about Bruce and a big call. I predicted to Marianne that was his last Thursday call. I truthfully believe in all my heart that we will be getting stuff this weekend or early next week. Our next call may be an emergency call just to let everybody know we're there. It could happen this weekend. My weekend is going to be a little busy, but I'm always going to have my phone with me, and I'm always going to be checking. I have a 50th anniversary party for my brother Russ and his wife tomorrow. And Sunday, my grandson, Patriots 7, plays football in my home school grounds. I don't have to go all the way to Clifton. I get to go home. But my daughter was so nice to me going home because, see, our motto at our school is we're Tigers. We're the Hersher Tigers. Huh? And once a Tiger, always a Tiger. Black and gold, baby. We bled black and gold. And even 53 years later, I still am a Tiger. Ron is still a Tiger. And my daughter goes out and gets me a Papa shirt in the blue and white for Clifton. But she did it very patriotic, where she gives me the flag. And she said, you got to wear that. She said, Dad, if I got to go home, because that's where she graduated too, if I got to go home in blue and white, you're going there too. And I will go there, and I will root for my grandson. And people will look at me and say, you're a Tiger. And I said, yes, I am. But he's my grandson. And that trumps the Tiger. Guys, have a great weekend. I love yous all. Bron loves yous all. And we'll see you. If not before, we'll see you Monday night. Good night. God bless.
Seems like she host comes up. Emily's with me.